is the day of the NFL draft, the biggest one that Chicago Bears fans have been looking forward to. We finally have the answers we're looking for, even though we already knew that Caleb Williams was going to be the number one pick after we traded Justin Fields. But now we can legitimately, no more trade back situations, no more mock drafts. We will have our roster set for the 2024 NFL season, and I'm excited to bring it to you guys today. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago Bears. My name is Nick Brody, and I am joined alongside the mock king himself, the breakdown man himself from Twitter. Jacob Infante is joining us today for the final mock draft. Jacob, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I don't know how explicit I am allowed to get on this show, but
as much as you want.
Do not come. Do not come.
Dude, I'm gonna fucking come, all right? I mean, I'm feeling great right now. Not literally, but I think this is the most excited for the draft that I've been in a long time. I think that, obviously the number one pick, you know what the Bears are going to do, but there's so many different possibilities, and having the number 9 pick on top of that, it's a chance to really take that next step for the Bears. And I mean, I'm excited for it.
I can tell you're very excited for it because my dad's going to watch this. Your dad's probably going to watch this and go, oh, yeah, nice. That's how we're starting the NFL draft today.
Yeah. And he gets on me for that kind of stuff. Like every once in a while I'll tweet something like just absolutely abhorrent. And he's like, dude, why did you have to tweet that? And he sees all my stuff and he watches it. So sorry, Dad. Sorry, Nick's dad. I swear I'm a really nice guy.
So, we already got Caleb locked in at number 1. But, before we jump into this 4-pick mock draft, we're super excited for today. And if you guys haven't already, and you please could, hit the like button on this video to show your support. And if you are excited that the mock draft season is over and the real draft is here, along with that, comment FGB in the comment section below and who you want the Bears to pick in their 4-round mock, or not mock, in their actual draft today. But Jacob, shall we? Oh, and one more thing, because we love giving, and it's the NFL draft. We're giving away a autographed Mike Singletary jersey to one lucky subscriber today during our live stream at 6:40 p.m. Central Time from Rizzo's Bar and Inn from our NFL draft party. Make sure you tune into that. Link is already posted. Hit notify me to stay up to date. But again, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment FGB. But Jacob, let's jump into the mock draft. The final one. Are you ready?
Let's do this.
So, Jacob, with the number 1 pick in the 2024 NFL draft, the Chicago Bears select.
I'm going to have to think about this one. I could go in so many different directions. Yeah, it's Caleb Williams, the quarterback out of USC. That's what the pick is going to be. I mean, it's as clear as crystal at this point. What needs to be said? You're looking at a tremendous quarterback prospect with the arm talent, the accuracy, the athleticism, the creativity, the poise, the mentality to be a star quarterback in the league. And I think that the Bears have set themselves up very well right now for a rookie quarterback with DJ Moore and Keenan Allen at wide receiver. At the very least, we'll see how the rest of the draft plays out. But you have those two. You have Cole Kmet. You have Gerald Everett. You have DeAndre Swift. They're playmakers on that offense, and an experienced play caller in Shane Waldron. It's going to be Caleb. I'm very excited about that, and I think that's something where a lot of Bears fans should be excited about too. Everybody who supports the Bears and just fans of football.
Caleb Williams, like you said, Jacob, fantastic generational type quarterback. 3,600 passing yards last year at USC, along with 69% nice completion percentage.
Wow.
30 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 170 QBR, 11 rushing touchdowns. I mean, this guy is everything that we need. He is what we wanted Justin Fields to be, but he is all that. And that's not a shot at Justin by any means. I mean, I'm wearing a shirt literally with Justin still on it. Like, was a great player, just didn't work out. But Caleb is the guy. 1-time Heisman Trophy winner, 2-time All-American, 2022 Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year. This guy can do it all, and he's going to do great things in Chicago. So, Jacob, after that, let's go out and get him a partner in crime, because with the number 9 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select?
That one's going to be Rome Odunze, the wide receiver out of Washington. So I've maintained for probably months now at this point that Rome Odunze should be the top option for the Bears at number 9 if he is available. If he's not, then that opens up a lot of different options, a lot of different paths that they can go down, staying at 9, trading down, or maybe if you're staying put at 9, I think the best case scenario is Rome Odunze is there and you take him. And, obviously coming back from Tuesday where, the whole talk was, oh, Caleb Williams tweeted about Rome Odunze. Rome Odunze tweeted about Caleb Williams. And then it came out, I think it was Pelissero who said that Odunze's worked out with not only Caleb, but DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. So, a lot of the pieces are in place there. And obviously it remains to be seen whether he does end up in Chicago. But it seems like Caleb has a guy that he likes and he wants in Chicago. And, if he's available, I think the Bears would be smart to get that guy for him. I mean, you're looking at a big-bodied wide receiver, someone with great ball skills, good hands, very good just body control, whether he's attacking the ball in the air or creating separation across the middle of the field. There's a lot to like there. He's coordinated coming in and out of his breaks, explosive. I think his deep speed gets slept on a little too much. Just because he's not Malik Neighbors fast doesn't mean that he's not fast. I mean, he was a track athlete in high school and he fared very well in that sort of setting. He ran into 4.4s. So he has that. The physicality, he's got a high football IQ, has a good ability to understand, the weaknesses of his zone coverage, figure out how to adjust his route to work himself open. There's really a lot to like with Odunze. I think that you look at the Bears wide receiver room right now, your top 2 guys are DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. And then, as of right now, your QB3 is Tyler Scott. So it still remains that they don't really have that big body, that guy who can win above the rim, that guy who can dominate at the catch point. And not only do I think Odunze is that, but I think he's someone with a good ability to get open with a deep route tree. And I think he's someone who's going to make a big impact at the next level. I think he'd be wide receiver 1 in most classes. I think that last year, 2023, 2022, arguably 2020, I don't think 2021, with the Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, but most years in the last, say probably 4 out of the last 5 draft classes, I think Odunze would be wide receiver 1. So I think if he's there at 9, I think Odunze from a positional value, from a positional need, and just from how good he is as a football player, I think he'd be a slam dunk pick at 9.
And, this year is way more stacked at wide receiver than next year's draft. Next year's draft is super defensive line heavy.
Oh, yeah.
I am totally okay with the Bears, going wide receiver 1 in this situation. And you hit on all the right points. A 6'3", 216-pound guy that runs a 4.43 40 time, flies down the field with a 40-inch vertical too. So he's a red zone target. He can jump over people. He catches everything. I mean, Rome Odunze is just going to be a special player. And honestly, I said this about Brian Thomas. Like, Brian Thomas would be a number 1 wide receiver in any other draft. And the fact that Rome is 3 and he is 4, I mean, that makes Rome obviously even better. So this is a absolutely wild draft. And I think that's the right thing to do. They already have chemistry. They're already hanging out. They know that if Rome does not get picked up before 9, he's coming to Chicago. So very excited about that, to say the least. And we still have 2 more picks, which I'm very excited to talk about because, Jacob, at 75, this guy has been climbing up my draft board. I know he's been climbing up yours recently on Twitter. But with the 75th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears are selecting.
I'm having them select Marshon Kneeland, the edge rusher out of Western Michigan. He's someone that I think really fits that Eberflus mold of what they want at an edge rusher. And I think the main part of that is length. I mean, you're looking at someone with 34.5-inch arms, a guy with 10-inch hands, a wingspan of over 83 inches. Like, that's all. The wingspan, that's 90th percentile for an edge rusher. The arm length is 84th percentile. Those are elite numbers. And he's someone with a thick build. He lost a little bit of weight for the combine, but he was billed at around 275 at Western Michigan. He's an effective 4-3 base defensive end, a guy who can win with his hand in the dirt. I like him as a strong side defensive end. I think he could play weak side as well. And you're looking at a guy I think he's going to contribute right away against the run. He's a powerful edge rusher, a guy who packs a nice punch. He's someone who's got a good enough anchor to set the edge, and he's got the strength in his hands and the wherewithal, the knowing how to use his hands on like some of those push-pull moves in order to free himself open to make tackles. And I think he's someone who can push the pocket pretty well. He times his jumps off the line of scrimmage well. And even if he's not the most flexible athlete out there for an edge rusher, like no one's going to mistake him for Dallas Turner or Chop Robinson out there. I think he's someone who can step in right away. I don't know if he's going to be a full-time every down starter in year one, but I do think that he's going to be someone who's going to contribute right away, someone who's going to rotate in. And honestly, if you have an edge rusher group of, obviously Montez Sweat being the top guy, but if you have a rotation of, Marshon, Kneeland, and DeMarcus Walker being that second guy, you could do a lot worse. So I'd be perfectly okay with that. And I think Kneeland will be good value in round 3. Honestly, I wouldn't be totally stunned if he goes a little bit higher than that, say in that late round 2 range. But if Kneeland's available in round 3, I think that's someone Eberflus especially would really like.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you said it the best. Like, this guy just wins whenever he's attacking at the quarterback. He had 29 quarterback hurries this past year for Western Michigan, along with 6 sacks, 3 quarterback hits, an RAS of 9.54, and a PFF grade of 89.7. So I've seen him range from late first all the way up to late third. It really depends on who you're looking at. It depends on who goes where, if they want to go defensive edge early. He's a special player, though, and his size goes not unnoticed. I think he'd be a good guy for this year to go across from Sweat because it's a low risk, high reward kind of guy and the way he plays. But if it doesn't work out, we can use our first round pick next year on a top edge or trade up and still have him in a rotation with DeMarcus Walker, Montez Sweat, Marshon, Kneeland, and then whoever we pick up next year. So it's a good problem to have. For sure. Absolutely.
I saw the RAS. I knew it was high. I didn't realize necessarily it was that high. And I saw that's a 92nd percentile 20-yard shuttle and an 80th percentile 3-cone drill for an edge rusher that he had. So even if, he won with power, he won with technique more so often in college, but he's a guy who tested really well. That makes me think, all right, he's someone I think has a bit more room to grow. And he's someone who's got a bit more untapped potential to work with. So if you can get him in round 3, I'd be very happy with that, and I know you would be too.
I think we're good at center. I think we're good at wide receiver then. I think we're good at tight end. Like, we definitely need an edge like that. So with the final pick, and we're going on the defensive side of the ball again, first 2 was offensive, second 2 were defensive. Jacob, with the 122nd pick from the Philadelphia Eagles in the 2024 NFL Draft, you are selecting
Dwayne Carter, the defensive lineman from Duke. With Carter here in round 4, he's someone that I'm a big fan of his tape. He's a stout defensive lineman. He's low to the ground. He does a good job of generating that bend in his knees. A knee bender is what you prefer to have. Because if you have that, if you bend at the knees, then you do a better job of keeping your balance. You keep your weight underneath you. You get a sturdier anchor, you get a stronger, more maximized power out of your core. And that's what Carter is. I think he's someone where he's got that flexibility in his lower half, and he's got a pretty good arsenal of how he can defeat you at the point of attack. I mean, he uses his hands well. He's got long arm stabs. He's got, two-handed swipes. He's got push pulls. He's got a lot of different moves he can use to win. My personal, just purely from a tape perspective, the testing didn't necessarily line up. But yeah, if you can get him on day 3 there, I think that's very good value. He's someone where necessarily elite in terms of raw power, and he's a little undersized. He's a hair under 6'3". He's 302 pounds, which, for a normal human being, that's massive. But for, a defensive tackle, that's on the, in the lower half percentile in a sense. And his arms aren't necessarily super long, but, you turn on the tape, he's someone who's just works really hard. And I think that's something where he's smart. He's quick. He's going to rotate into the defensive line pretty quickly. Again, I don't think he's a full-time starter in the league, at least not right away. But, in due time, I could see him developing into a solid starter.
I mean, you hit on every point correctly because I couldn't agree more. And on top of it, what I thought of bringing in Carter was that you pair him and Pickens together and you pair Dexter Sr. and Billings together because you're putting one big guy and one elusive quick guy. And as anyone could say that about Andrew Billings, they're like, oh, he does not look quick. The man's quick for a guy that is as big as he is. So I think it would solidify that defensive line. You wouldn't have to worry about it. He was also a captain, so he's got that leadership mentality. He wants to win. He's got the point of attack, and he only got better as time went on at Duke. I'm with you. And I think that if this was the 4-round mock draft, if this is the 4-round draft, I think we win the entire NFL draft because this team is completely completed at that point. And also, please help me with thanking Jacob for coming onto the show today. But Jacob, thanks for coming on, man. It's going to be a crazy next couple days, and I know you're very excited about it.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. Me personally, I'm going to be writing up a storm, tweeting up a storm, doing a whole bunch of stuff. But this is, I can't even say it's the calm before the storm because, the last couple of days especially have been super busy. I'm really excited for what's to come, and I appreciate you having me on, and I'm looking forward to seeing how you edit what I said at the top of the show. If you do anything with that, that's going to be, I threw you a real curveball there, but I appreciate you having me on for sure.
I already know what it's going to be, and I think you know what it's going to be too, but we'll talk about it after. So thank you, Jacob, for coming on, and thank you guys for tuning into the last mock draft on Just Another Year Chicago Bears this offseason. We had a lot of fun with you guys. Make sure you tune into our live stream tonight, 6:40 Central Time. Be there, be square. That's when we're announcing the Mike Singletary jersey. We will also have live reaction with the Bears number 1 and number 9 overall picks. But with that, thank you as always for doing this episode of Just Another Year Chicago Bears. My name is Nick Brody, joined alongside my good friend and co-host Jacob Infante, and I want to hear it in the comment section. Bear down, baby.